Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
I'm Bob. How's it going?
Welcome to our Top 5 Fridays ski industry news videos. Bob, welcome back.
Thank you.
Three in a row, I think. Good to have you.
It's a good streak.
It is. We'll see how long we can keep going. Hopefully through the next year or so. Pretty light week for news this week. Matt McGinnis, our esteemed colleague who writes Top 5 Fridays, he was kind of saying they're all like feel-good topics this week.
That's a nice change.
It's a nice change, yeah, after a year of talking about how the pandemic's affecting skiing and all that kind of stuff. We got a lot of kind of cool topics this week. So we'll kick it right off with number one. I thought this was probably the most interesting. I think it's great, but also interesting, and we'll get to that. But Arapahoe Basin, they've been in the news a lot recently, definitely making headlines out there in Summit County, and they are again. They've partnered with Summit County Public Health to host Ski Up Vaccinations.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think of when I think of skiing and vaccinations is they should just come right together.
Hand in hand. The first 200 interested guests, I suppose that's important, that you have to be interested. They're not just mandatory vaccines.
To get on the list.
Not like the first 200 people. The first 200 interested guests can receive a free Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It's actually not restricted just to Colorado residents. So I think that's good for Summit County because there's a lot of kind of like, seasonal people out there and stuff like that aren't technically Colorado residents. That pretty much always happens. So if you're one of those people, you can go and you don't have to show like Colorado state ID or anything like that. Now, this is the part that I thought was particularly interesting, and maybe it's just me and my personal experience with being vaccinated or partially vaccinated. You get a free drink voucher. You either get a voucher for a Bloody Mary or you can use your voucher for a Bloody Mary, a draft beer, or a fountain soda.
Yeah, again, vaccinations and alcohol. It's just a winning combination.
If you asked me, those two things did not go hand in hand. In fact, I didn't feel particularly great after although I didn't have the Johnson & Johnson shots, or who knows. But alcohol was not the first thing that I was thinking of after being vaccinated personally. But I'm sure everybody's different. Everybody has a different reaction to it and stuff like that. So pretty cool, I think you can't fault them for offering up free vaccines. You can go get it if you want. Yeah. You can get a drink voucher if you want. If you don't want to drink alcohol after your shot, you can go have a soda.
Yeah, and and you hear of a lot of these creative ways of getting people in, whether it's like a racetrack or I think like the Mets. We're doing it for baseball at the baseball stadium. It's just another instance of creativity being pushed to the forefront of, just overall health, which is great.
It certainly feels creative.
Yep.
That's probably the best word for this. I think it's, I don't know why I didn't write this down, but I'm pretty sure it's this upcoming Sunday.
Okay.
So if you're in the area and you want a vaccine, head over to A-Basin. I think they're starting it at noon. And double check the written article because we've got the actual dates in there if I'm incorrect, but I'm pretty sure it's Sunday at noon. So should be pretty nice. We kind of checked the weather and it looks pretty nice out there. So go get vaccinated, hang out on a deck in the sun, and
have a Bloody Mary and take some turns.
Have a beer or a Bloody Mary or a Sprite or whatever you want. So kudos to A-Basin. Next topic of the week. This is not a mountain that I was particularly familiar with. Bob, were you?
No, I had never heard of this place before.
Cool. So we're in the same boat there. Duluth, Minnesota has a plan to invest $24 million into Spirit Mountain. Now, Spirit Mountain, if you're unfamiliar with Spirit Mountain, as Bob and I were, is a pretty substantial little resort.
I was pretty impressed in just my little cursory Google search of it.
Yep.
Looks like a great little place.
Yeah, 700 vertical feet. They've got some cross-country skiing and some mountain biking, and looks like pretty good amenities. I think you said there was an alpine coaster.
Yeah, some type of mountain coaster thing.
Sweet.
Looked great.
Yeah, so it's actually one of the closest ski areas to a city in North America. From our research, albeit very quick, looks pretty darn close.
Yeah.
You brought up the mountain in
in
New
Manchester.
Hampshire. Yeah.
Mount McIntyre.
Yeah.
I just like ski areas that have city views, and we kind of talked
Pretty
a little
unique.
bit about that, like where you can either, a lot of these places have night skiing too, so like
Yeah.
like Bolton Valley here, you get a nice night view of the Burlington lights.
Yeah.
You know, like you can see Salt Lake City from like Snowbird, but it's not like that close.
Right.
But it's pretty cool when you can see like buildings and stuff from a ski area.
Yeah, so really cool. You know, it's great to have an asset like that
Yeah.
so close to a metropolitan area. Recently, the resort had some financial struggles that required them to be bailed out by the city. So there was a resulting line of credit, and then they also get about $1 million annually in funding from the city, most of which is in the form of tourism taxes, which they actually contribute to as well. So they're like paying into it and then getting some back. Basically, those two things and the fact that the resort was starting to feel like it was in need of some renovations, it kind of led people to start questioning whether it was actually beneficial for the city or whether it was hurting them financially. So that prompted them to form a task force, which was basically formed just to determine the financial value, whether it was an economic asset or not. And they just published their findings in a 250-page document, and they found that the resort generates around $22 million per year for the city, which is pretty huge.
Yeah.
You know, that's a huge economic benefit for the city. And they also found that with proper investment and some renovations, that could easily be around $39 million annually. So pretty great findings.
Yep.
You know, obviously that's what you're looking for, that it's a benefit for the city, for the area. So out of that, the city has announced a $24 million investment plan, and that will be funded 50% through state bonds, 25% through that same tourism tax, and then 25% from the resort itself. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd imagine 24 million could
go a
long way in for a small area like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they also noted that it's not just going to be put towards the alpine skiing infrastructure.
Yeah.
They're going to put a lot of money into expanding the mountain biking terrain and expanding the Nordic Center too, which those things often kind of go hand in hand. Obviously, mountain biking is experiencing like an explosion of popularity in the country. So really smart for them to invest in that side as well. But yeah, it's great to hear. Another feel-good story.
Yep.
So maybe we'll get out and ski Spirit.
I'd love to go to Spirit. It looked awesome.
I would too. I would love to take a Ski Essentials trip and maybe ski some mountains that people don't know about.
I mean, I grew up on, Neshoba Valley in Massachusetts, a tiny little hill, and so many people got their start from there and have made a lifelong, family-friendly activity of it. So
for me, it's Shawnee Peak in Maine.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorite places to ski.
Right.
The place is awesome.
I have not been back to Neshoba in quite some time.
I haven't been to Shawnee Peak in a couple of years either, but every time I go back, I have a lot of fun. So yeah, great to ski.
Yeah.
Great to ski. Maybe great to ski. We'll find out, but great to see.
Yep.
So third topic of the week, another feel-good story. Wanatachi, I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right.
I think so.
Wanatachi High School in Washington has unveiled a ski building workshop, which is kind of actually a class in itself. You can take a class on ski building, which is really cool. I used the word unveil, which maybe isn't the best word because they've been using it for a little while. Kids are already kind of churning out skis and snowboarders in their desired specs, which I think is really cool. So basically their AutoCAD instructor, Doug Merrill, has been lobbying for this idea for about 4.5 years now, and then finally this year got a trailer that he's built out to be a little mini ski factory.
Yeah, and from what I read, they're doing all sorts of stuff like the cost benefit. They're learning all sorts of different things from graphic design to marketing and physics. And
the science department's using it exactly for physics work and stuff like that, testing flex patterns and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. We just thought that was extremely interesting. Certainly something that I wish I had at my high school. I would have been building skis left and right.
I think I made a cutting board and it was not very good.
I made sailboats.
Yeah.
My go-to woodworking thing was always sailboats.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they have like an online class that we could take.
They did say that I think they're going to start using it in a public-facing setting too.
Yeah.
And kind of using it as like just a mobile ski building workshop and allowing the public to get involved. So we'll have to tack that on to our trip to Spirit.
Okay.
We'll stop at Spirit and then we'll keep going to Washington and build some skis. Or maybe we should do it the other way around. Maybe we should fly to Washington, build some skis, and then test them at Spirit.
I'm sure we would have a great time doing that.
I do too. Fourth topic of the week. Andrzej. Yeah, we're just going to say Andrzej. Andrzej Bergiel, he has bagged two first descents in as many weeks. He's on fire.
I am more impressed with the videos of him like running up the mountains than I am the skiing down. Like I can't wrap my head around that type of fitness.
Yeah, an incredibly fit human being. But yeah, he bagged another first descent. He became the first ever skier to successfully descend Layla Peak in Pakistan. This is just on the heels of another first descent also in Pakistan, which is pretty cool. You don't hear like too much about skiing in general in Pakistan. And this is like particularly noteworthy, not exactly for like a positive feel-good reason, but the last time, I think the only other time this was attempted was in 2016. Leonardo Comelli attempted it and made a mistake on the descent, hooked a tip, and ended up falling 400 meters and passing away. So just wild to think about that. Obviously, skiing is a dangerous sport, but I feel like that's like taking it to the next level.
Right, to make that commitment to be like, oh, I'm gonna be the one that does this. I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, like if I succeed, there will be a 50% survival rate.
Right.
Which is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've stood on top of some terrain that scares me before, and I don't think it had even any death rate.
No, I mean I think you're out there. I mean you're
exactly, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's like part of the Himalayas in Pakistan, but it's
not much support.
There's huge mountains in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. So yeah, huge congratulations to Andrzej. We're really sorry we can't pronounce your name, but the Z and the J in there are just super difficult.
We even looked it up.
Yep. It was a challenge. So that's it for topics this week. Edits of the week is pretty light as well. First up, we have Juna Kangas with an edit called Walk in the Park. This is in collaboration with Gibberish. This is pretty much being like widely regarded as one of the best park edits in the past few years. Mm-hmm. Got a really good vibe. It's not just filled with like crazy like triple corks and big spins. There's a lot of just style in there. Yeah. Juna Kangas is a really fun skier to watch, so I'd certainly encourage you to watch that. And then we have about a 6.5 minute short film called Shin Bangers 3. Unsponsored skiers, you know, not like well-known guys by any means, but put together a really good little short film. A lot of backcountry jumps, a lot of really good skiing. Pretty impressive skiers, just hands down. And a really, like, it's got a really good feel to it, too. They did a good job with the editing and the production, not being like a professional production company. And then last edit of the week is actually one that I used as a bonus edit in just the video last week, but Matt opted to put it in the written article this week. It's Marcus Cleveland skiing, which if you didn't watch it last week, go and watch it because it's crazy. I showed it to a couple people around the office this week. And it just continues to blow my mind every time I watch it. He's just really good at skiing for not being a skier. I assume he's got some skiing background, but yeah, for being a professional snowboarder, he's really good at skiing. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's professional athletes are impressive. Yes. Yeah. So that's it for edits of the week. Bob, you doing anything exciting this weekend? Some more soccer coaching. Excellent. Bike riding.
I'd like it to warm up so we could do some swimming, but other than that...
Yep, been great mountain biking weather here in
Yep.
Vermont over the past week or so, now that it's warming up a little bit.
Yep.
So we probably won't see you on the slopes, but maybe we'll see you out there on the bike trails.
Bye.